The next guest, which I'm super excited about bringing out. I met her when she was a teenager, and she did a guest. Well, she actually recurred on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody for several years, and she was making a little movie called High School Musical. And she's a host or a judge on So You Think You Dance, and she's just done about everything. She has a movie out right now called Dog Days, and lastly but not least, I saw her on Broadway in the musical Gigi. Put your hands together for Vanessa Hudgens! Yes! Thank you.
I totally just ran into the sound guy, FYI. Hi, everybody!
Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. This is so fun.
So, do you remember walking into your first audition? What was it like?
Well, I started this when I was very, 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 very young. I think I was probably 6 years old when I had my first audition.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was for community theater, which is the type of thing that you actually like pay to be in the play. They don't really hire you. You gotta like pay to be in it. So I didn't really have the option of not getting in it. It was guaranteed. Sometimes you just gotta pay your way. But I did that for a while and kind of gained my confidence there. And then slowly but surely just started auditioning for bigger things, things that I wasn't gonna pay, things that they actually had to pick me for.
And pay you.
And then pay me little. Just a little bit, but gotta start somewhere.
Do you still get nervous at auditions?
Yes, very.
Really?
Yes. It's always nerve-wracking, I think, because auditions are kind of an awkward thing. You don't have your space, you don't have your fellow actor, you don't have costumes. It feels very fake, so you really have to fake it. And also, like, that's your art, you know? You're in a very vulnerable place, and you just try to be as present as possible and hope for the best and hope that they like it. I actually have an audition on Wednesday, and I'm like, okay, we're doing it.
Wow. So you get nervous early on?
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting, because it's like, yes, I get to try something else out, try something new. But it's always nerve-wracking, always. It never goes away, sorry.
So has there been a moment in your career that's actually surprised you?
I feel like my entire career, I feel like it never stops amazing me, and I never stop being grateful for the fact that I actually get to do what I love, and that people actually watch it, and people actually hire me to do it. You know, what we do is such a very special thing. We share stories, and the fact that people are engaged and can get inspiration from that and kind of help guide them through life. That's just like, that's a really special thing to be able to do. The fact that that's a profession is just, it's pretty cool.
Awesome. So if you could guest star in any show, what would it be?
I'm obsessed with Handmaid's Tale.
Really?
It's such a good show.
That's
And
awesome.
it's so dark, and it's so heavy and crazy. And the characters are so deep, and yeah, maybe that.
So what's the best piece of advice you could give that you were given, actually?
I think if this one doesn't work out, the next thing that comes along will be bigger and better. And it pertains to work, it pertains to life. It kind of bleeds out into all aspects of life. But I remember always telling myself when I had my heart set on a project and I didn't get it, I was like, it's okay, because the next thing that comes along will be bigger and better.
Yeah. So if you could work with anyone, past or present, who would it be and why?
Oof. There's so many amazing artists out there. So many. I mean, I feel like my first answer would be Natalie Wood. If I could do like a movie with her and play her sister, that would be the dream. Because she was the first person who really inspired me to follow my dreams. I watched West Side Story and just kind of fell in love with musicals. But then recently I've been obsessed over David Lynch. I love him.
Amazing.
He's so dark and weird and twisted, and it's just so cool to me. I really want to work with him.
So you have a very strong music background, and you've been on Broadway. Is there a genre or media that you prefer?
It's all the same. It's different, but it's the same. I don't know. I love just expressing myself. I've always thought of myself as a performer. So I love acting, I love singing, I love dancing. I just love expressing myself. They're all so different, but they're all just so fun. They all are just like so soul fulfilling. Music, theater, film, TV. Yeah.
That's great. So you're known obviously as a triple threat. How important would it be to be well-rounded and more than just that?
It's so important because when opportunities come knocking, they're not going to wait for you to be ready. You have to be ready for it. I remember getting on audition for, do I want to say this to you guys?
Yes.
Okay, we're being brutally honest right now. I got an audition for My Fair Lady on Broadway, which I was very excited about because, I mean, Audrey Hepburn, like a dream. But I hadn't been working on my voice. I had neglected to do my vocal warm-ups every day, and for better or worse, I was a little rusty. And those songs are high, like extremely soprano, high songs that you have to have a very well-stretched range in order to be able to do, especially when it comes to Broadway, because you're doing that 8 times a week. Like, it's not something to be taken lightly. So I went in and as soon as I got the audition, I worked as hard as I could every single day for hours until my voice would stop working. And went in for the audition, flew myself out to New York, like got myself an Airbnb, and I ended up spending a lot of money for this project because I really wanted to get it. And at the end of the day, my voice was not at a place that was strong enough to be able to do the show. So it just goes to show, like, work hard every day, all the time, on things that make you more well-rounded, because when those opportunities come that you dream of, they're not going to be waiting for you. You got to be ready for them.
That's true.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah. So for such a huge production like High School Musical, where you're singing and dancing and there's all these sets, what's a typical day like?
Man, it was so long ago.
Long time ago.
What was it like? I mean, I was literally a kid. I was, I think, 15 or 16 when we did the first one. But I remember the first month, I think, were purely rehearsals. Where because it's a musical, it's mostly dance rehearsals. We would go into the studio, we recorded all the songs, we kind of had a template to do the film to, and we would be in these dance studios and basically playing all day is what it felt like. I'm just like such a musical fanatic. Musicals make me so happy. So I don't know, it never felt like work. It was kind of play. Long hours of play, but but play.
That's great. That's great. Do you prefer comedic or dramatic roles?
Oof, I love them both. They're both hard. Comedy is challenging. It helps when you have someone to work off of who's very funny as well. In the movie that I have out now called Dog Days, my co-star, John Bass, is hysterical. If you saw Baywatch, he was in that too. But he was just so funny that it just made it really easy to bounce things off of him because I knew he was going to throw it right back at me. But dramas are great too. Like, some of my fondest memories of my career have been dramas. When I did a movie called Gimme Shelter, I put on 20 pounds, I chopped off all my hair.
Wow.
I lived in a homeless pregnant teen shelter because my character was based off a real person. That's where she lived. And it was the most fulfilling thing I had ever done. There was so much joy in the pain that I put myself through.
So speaking of dog days, what drew you to the project?
Like I said, it is fun doing doing dramas, but I think right now with the social climate of the world, we all need a laugh. We all need something that you can just escape to. And when you go to the theater with your friends and family, it's nice to be able to just let go of your worries and just be entertained and laugh and maybe have a cry. And for it to not be too heavy, I think, is a really special thing. Also, my character was really sweet. You know, you meet her and she's at a point in her life where she's trying to figure out what she's doing, what her purpose is, and she ends up finding a little chihuahua behind a dumpster, and she rescues it and brings it to the shelter and ends up volunteering in the shelter and finds her purpose and finds her meaning for animals who don't have their own voice. I mean, dogs really need us to survive. They're so helpless on their own. So, and I have a rescue dog, which I can't imagine my life without.
So what role or genre would you still want to do and cross off your list?
There's so many. I feel like it's funny because I've been doing this for so long, but I also feel like I still have so much to do. I love fantasies. I want to play like a fairy or a princess, something magical, maybe with wings. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot to do. I don't know. There's so many people to play, so many stories to be told. But I think like fantasy is.
Well, you're so creative, though. Have you ever thought of writing, directing, producing?
Yeah, it's definitely something that has been bouncing in my head a lot more recently. I think that it's just important to watch a lot of movies and TV and read a lot of plays, because it's really interesting how you can read something or watch something and just get this spark of inspiration. Like David Lynch has really done that for me. I feel like watching him has like really lit something in me that I knew was there before, but I didn't know the outlet. And watching him has inspired me a lot more to think about maybe trying to go behind the camera.
So what TV show or movie do you like to binge watch in your free time?
What am I watching? Right now, have you guys seen We Are America? We got one! Sacha Baron Cohen. It is insane. He's honestly kind of a genius. He plays 5 different characters that look completely different, full prosthetics, from different places. His accents are so on point. He never breaks characters, and he's interviewing real people who are in politics and making America look a very interesting type of way. But I just love watching him in the show because it's honestly, it's genius. It's insane.
So what is something you wish you knew when you were young, when you were starting off, that you could actually share with the kids here?
Dip your feet in as many different pools as possible. If you're interested in it, go after it. The more life you live, the more knowledge you have, the more you'll be able to put that into your work, because it all funnels into your work. It doesn't matter how left of center it may seem. It will help you grow into the artist you're meant to be. And work hard. Don't be lazy.
That's great. That's great. Good advice, guys. So what is the secret to having longevity in this career?
Whew. Choices. Choices are a really big thing. That's, I think, what honestly has allowed me to still be doing what I love. You know, when I first started acting, I always saw myself as playing, like, sorry kids, but the drug addict or the stripper or the prostitute. I just really wanted to do dark, heavy roles. And I got High School Musical, and I was like, okay, this is exciting, this is fun, but it's not really the trajectory I saw myself going. And obviously that blew up and launched me into a world that I did not expect. but it meant that the roles that were coming in were very sweet girl next door parts, which is not bad. It's just not where I wanted to go. So I had to say no a lot. And it was difficult because I would go for like a year without working, and I was just being like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Should I be saying no? Should I keep holding out for the right thing? And I'm glad that I did.
Awesome.
Because it just meant that when projects did come around that I felt were things that I could really sink my teeth into, I had to fight for those parts. I had to go in and audition and read for the part over and over again and really win the part fair and square. And it just made it that much more rewarding. So yeah, for me it was just making the right choices and also listening to my gut, knowing that if something inspires me, I'll feel it in my body and listen to it. And no matter how scary the part may seem, if there's something inside of me that's like, wow, this is kind of terrifying, then that means I should probably do it.
Speaking of projects, what projects do you have coming up?
Well, the next movie I have coming out will be out around Thanksgiving. It's called Second Act with J-Lo.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so I'm really excited for it. I mean, I personally grew up on J-Lo's rom-coms, so to see her do another one and to like act alongside of her in one, my mind was kind of blown. It was like a very surreal moment for me. She's an amazing actress. She's so phenomenal. She's so present. She's so free with her body. Like, we all know her as being like a triple threat and absolutely stunning, but the thing I kind of forgot was like what a phenomenal actress she is. She's very, very
great.
good. So I'm very excited to be able to share the screen with her.
Awesome.
And then around Christmas time, I will have a movie out on Netflix. I am excited and also kind of terrified because it's all me. It is 100% me. I was number 1 and number 2 on the call sheet. It's kind of like The Parent Trap, you know? Where two people meet each other and they look exactly alike and they end up switching places.
But they're not children.
No, they're me. And one's like a girl from Chicago who's a baker, and the other is a British duchess. So got to finally work with my accent. So it's a lot of firsts. So I'm nervous, but I'm excited. So yeah, that'll be coming out around Christmas, which is a lot of fun. And then I did this other movie with this director, Jonas Ackerlund, who is so cool. Yeah, he's done like all the music videos under the sun, from like Madonna to Beyonce, and he's just a very cool guy. And it's with Mads Mikkelsen, and it's based off of a graphic novel. And I play a character who photographs animals and lives in the woods. And they have a very awkward relationship that's kind of charming. And there's a twist. Dun, dun, dun!
Finally. That's awesome.
But yes, I'm excited about that. My gosh, my list keeps going. I'm on So You Think You Can Dance right now.
Yeah.
Which is so much fun. Happens every Monday, so tomorrow night. It's so funny because if you would have told me like 5 years ago that I would be doing the show, I would be like, no, there's no way. But I think that actors nowadays are so free to do whatever. Like, there's no more limitations, because I feel like there used to be. It used to be kind of like, you're in this lane, you have to stay in this lane. But now you can kind of go wherever your heart desires. So, yeah, I'm there every Monday, which is so much fun, making dreams come true, or crushing them, unfortunately. And then, yeah, a lot of other little, like, side projects here and there, like getting my hands into designing, which is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Designing clothes?
Yeah.
Awesome.
My girlfriend started working with this brand, Suit Studio, which is the sister store of Suit Supply, which is like men's suits. And she asked me if I wanted to do a collection, and I was like, oh my God, of course. So it was really amazing designing a collection for the first time, and it being suits for women because
Suits?
yeah, because I'm turning 30 this year, and I'm very petite. So I've always felt younger than my age. I also think that like I have a very like joyful, like childlike spirit, which contributes to that. But I remember putting on a suit for the first time and feeling like a woman and feeling powerful and strong and sexy. So I was like, I'm gonna make suits.
Nice. All right, guys. We're going to open it up to a few questions.
Cool.
I think we have a little bit of time. So, anybody have any questions?
Yeah, we have a question over here.
Hi.
Hi.
Who inspires you as an actress most?
So many people. I mean, like I said, Natalie Wood in the beginning. Her choices, what she did. I think that there was an air of actresses in that time that had so much grace and elegance and class that kind of disappeared for a moment. So I always love trying to take that with me and trying to keep that spirit alive. Obviously, Meryl Streep, because of her diversity. I mean, like, she's a woman who just does not stop and works so hard, and she doesn't have to. Like, she does not have to do this anymore, but she keeps on trucking. Yeah, it's insane. Like, Julie Andrews, honestly. I'm, like, such a musical theater baby that, like, those women were so talented and had to be so good at so many different things and really stretch themselves, I feel, with every single project that they did. I love Penelope Cruz. I love seeing like the evolution of her career. I love her personality. There's so many women in this business that are just so extremely talented. But I think it was always and will be Natalie Wood for me, and Meryl Streep.
We have another one right here.
All right.
I just want to know what the stress level was on when you were in High School Musical. Like, there was a lot of people. Like, was it like stressing around, or was it just like totally normal?
It was honestly kind of totally normal for me because I did grow up doing musicals. Like when I was 6, I was literally girl number 7 in like Cinderella, and then went on to be Sebastian in The Little Mermaid, and then was the Hunchback of Notre Dame in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Quasimodo. So I was getting my feet into a lot of theater, and it was just like something that I found really comforting. Also, the fact is, I was so young. I was bonding with these people, like Ashley Tisdale. We had done a commercial together right before we did High School Musical, so she was already a really close friend. And Zach obviously was like my first boyfriend, so I was being able to do that with him, which was so special. And I loved singing and dancing so much. It was just always such a joy. It was never like a task. It was fun. So I think that because we had enough rehearsal, when the time came to film it, we felt comfortable. And the thing with like film and TV is if you don't get it right the first time, you can do it again. You don't have that luxury when you do theater, but with High School Musical, it was like if we mess up, we just do it again. And Kenny Ortega is such a fantastic director that like he made everyone feel so at ease, so comfortable to be themselves and so free. It was just fun. It was a lot of fun, which is how it should be. Yes. I loved your enthusiasm just then too. Where does it come from? I don't know. I mean, I feel like we are just all drawn to certain things. There's no rhyme or reason. You just are. You just like the things that you like, and that's kind of all there is to it. I don't know. I love diving into things that can make you feel uncomfortable, because I feel like that's when you learn the most about yourself. There's something also very provocative about that place. I mean, like Black Swan, I remember watching and being like, oh my gosh, this is it. It's that same thing. It kind of sparks this feeling, like this little tickle in your stomach that you can't describe, but it just like, there's something exciting in the darkness. Another reason why I love Halloween.
Right over here.
Hey, so kicking such a huge career off with Disney, what were like the difficulties and the process of transitioning into more older adult content?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Can you say that
I
again?
can't hear you.
So his question was, because you started in Disney, or you started heavily in Disney, what was it like transitioning from Disney films into more adult roles, more adult contented films?
It just took a long time. It took a good amount of years to feel like I've not pushed away from that, but be at a point where I know that people don't only know me for that. It was, like I said, a lot of saying no, a lot of staying true to the vision that I had for myself, a lot of conviction, a lot of willpower, because like I said, there were moments where I was just sitting there being like, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm losing momentum, but I had a vision for myself and I stuck to it. And I feel like it's just really important to know where you want to go and to keep your eyes on that path and on that destination, and enjoy the journey, of course, but just try to stay as focused as possible.
Okay, we have one right here.
Yeah.
Hi, so I actually did the same community theater program as you with Doug and Randy back in San
Oh my
Diego.
gosh, no way.
Yes, and they always talked about you, and they talked a lot about how a lot of people do get their start in community theater. So for all the stars here who do want to make it big in Hollywood, can you just kind of elaborate on why it's still important to, dazzle in your local plays and learn in that aspect as well?
Yeah, my gosh, that's amazing. Acting is acting. Performing is performing. It doesn't matter how many people you're doing it for, no matter how big the production is, no matter how big your part is. Being actively involved in exercising your craft is like something that is so important. I feel like theater also is something that's so important to do as an actor, because that's where you learn how to kind of be able to do anything. Honestly, because when you're doing theater, stuff happens and you can't control it, and you have to learn how to adapt and how to make the next few moments work. And it's so important to do, because then you know how to handle yourself in those moments. Yeah, theater's so important. Starting off there, it's so amazing. I love that they still talk about that. Oh.
Okay, last question. So most actors have to, have a day job to support their dream.
Yes.
So my question is
coming
to
up
you
here.
is, because this is the last question.
Okay.
Did you ever have a day job? How did you support your dream when you started out?
Well, I started
no.
very young. Yeah, no, the answer is no. When I was 15, I did get asked at my local ice cream shop if I wanted a job. That was after I had done High School Musical. I was like, I think I'm fine. But I mean, I see it. Like, my sister is actively pursuing the craft and acting, and she's in classes, and she's trying to figure it out as well. And I mean, I feel like nowadays there's so many different ways to be able to support yourself and your dream, that, I don't know, you just kind of got to do whatever it takes to get it.
I agree. And her sister's awesome, Stella.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, Did you guys enjoy that?
All right.
They were both amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and dismiss them right now. Okay, so give it up one more time for Vanessa and George. They were amazing, especially Vanessa for being
All right.
here.
Thank you, guys.